Welcome to Shanti Peace Yoga. Today's practice is all about trying to achieve mental clarity and find our focus. You will need one block towards the end, or you can substitute with a cushion. And you can see Yogi Bear has decided to join us, and he really didn't want to leave this spot, so you'll see me working around him quite a bit today. Let's begin at the top of our mat in Tadasana, mountain pose. Bring your feet hip-width apart and firm all four corners of your feet into the mat. Slide your shoulders down your back and shine your palms forwards. Keep your eyes soft, but look straight ahead and find a point of focus. This is called your drishti, which is said to quiet the mind and help drown out all external images and sounds to help find that mental clarity. We're going to now complete 5 rounds of a half-sun salutation as a moving meditation. Let's start the first round slowly. Begin by inhaling as you circle your arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands stay together, thumbs touch the space between the eyes and fold forward. Knees can be bent. Inhale, hands come to the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale as you rise up to standing, arms circle overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands together at heart center, find your drishti. We'll complete the rest of the rounds a little faster now. Start by bringing your arms down by your sides. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, arms circle up overhead. Exhale, hands at heart center, find your drishti. Arms by your sides. Inhale, arms circle up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, arms circle up overhead. Exhale, hands at heart center, find your drishti. Arms by your sides. Inhale, circle the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, arms circle up overhead. Exhale, hands at heart center, find your drishti. Arms by your sides. Inhale, arms circle overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, arms circle up overhead. Exhale, hands together at heart center, find your drishti. Hold here, and we'll keep our focus as we work on balance, coming into tree pose, Vrikshasana. You can bring your right heel to rest beside your left shin, or rest the whole foot on the left shin, or right foot rests on the left inner thigh. Wherever you are, keep your focus on your drishti to help steady you. Ensure your hips are square to the front and really firm all 4 corners of that left foot into the ground. Let's add a challenge to our focus now as we transition into Warrior 3. Try to avoid touching the right foot down. Simply send that foot back behind you as you tilt forward from the hips, coming parallel to the ground. Find your drishti on the floor. Keep that focus steady. We're going to build again and transition into half moon pose. Start by releasing the left fingertips to the floor. Bring the toes to point towards the right side of the room, and now find your drishti on the right side. Slowly extend the right arm overhead, opening up the chest to the right. I know this can be really challenging. We're almost finished. Let's release here with control. Bring the right fingertips down to the floor and gently lower your right foot down, allowing the right knee to follow, and come into a low lunge. Let's raise our arms up overhead here and clasp our hands together with the index fingers pointing skyward. Lifting tall through the crown of our head, keep your gaze straight ahead and find your drishti once again. Lower both hands down beside the left foot, and now step that foot behind you, coming into a high plank. Inhale here. Now exhale as you slowly lower down to the ground. Inhale as you press into your hands to lift your chest into Cobra pose. Exhale as you tuck the toes under and lift up into Downward Dog. Feel free to lift and lower your heels, easing out any tension in your hamstrings. Our focus in Downward Dog is to keep lifting our tailbone skyward, so bend your knees as much as you need to achieve this. Don't worry if your heels aren't touching the ground. Let's take a deep breath in as we look forward to our hands. Exhale and step the feet forward, coming into forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, circling the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands at heart center. And we're coming back to tree pose on the other side. Take your variation of the pose. You can have your left heel against the left shin, or left foot to shin, or left foot to right inner thigh. Wherever you are, keep your hips square to the front and open up the left leg from the hip. Find your drishti once again. Try to drown out any other noise or distractions. Your body is focused on the task of balancing, and your mind is paying attention to your drishti. Let's add a challenge to our focus now as we transition into Warrior 3. Like before, try to avoid touching the left foot to the floor. Simply send that left foot behind you, toes point down, as you tilt forward from the hips, coming parallel to the ground. Find your drishti on the floor. Let's transition into half moon pose now, like before. This time, right fingertips come to the floor, bring the toes to point towards the left, and now find your drishti on the left side. Slowly extend the left arm overhead now, opening up the chest to the left. And this side for me is much more difficult than the other, and you might find that too. Keep on with it, no matter how much you're shaking and wobbling. We're going to release with control, bringing the left fingertips to the floor and gently lower your left foot down, allowing the left knee to follow and come into a low lunge. Like before, arms extend overhead, index fingers pointing skyward. Our gaze is looking straight ahead. Find your drishti as you slow down your breathing. Let's take our vinyasa now. Both hands come down to the floor beside the right foot, and now step that foot behind you, coming into a high plank. Inhale here. Exhale as you slowly lower down to the ground. Inhale as you press into your hands, coming into Cobra pose. And now exhale as you tuck the toes under and lift up into Downward Dog. Take one more deep inhale here, and now exhale as you bend your knees, lowering down to the ground, coming into Child's Pose, Balasana. Your knees can be as wide as you prefer, but wherever you are, really melt your whole body into this pose, allowing your spine to round and head be heavy on the floor. Let's extend our arms overhead and take our hands together in prayer. Allow your eyes to soften or close, and your breath to deepen and slow. Let's take one more deep inhale here, and now exhale as you walk your hands in, lifting up slowly. We're going to make our way onto our backs now, and we're coming into supported bridge pose. First, place your block or cushion within easy reach. Once you're on the mat, bend your knees and lift your hips to place your prop at your sacral area. I have my block on its lowest level, but you may need to play around here to find what you like. You can place your arms down by your sides or overhead, but allow your palms to be open, facing skyward. If your knees are bent, keep them in a neutral position, not splaying open. If you want to add on here, start to walk your feet forward so your legs extend straight. This is a very gentle inversion, designed to help soothe the nervous system and quiet the mind. If this is too intense for your lower back, keep the knees bent or remove the block entirely. we'll prepare to release the pose. Bend your knees if you had them straight. Inhale, and now exhale as you press into the feet to lift your hips and remove the prop. We're going to come into a spinal twist as a counter pose after the inversion. Laying flat on your back on the mat, starting with your knees bent, cross the left knee over the right, and now lift your hips and slightly shift them over to the left. Take your arms out wide. Inhale here, and now exhale as you drop your knees over to the right. Just allow gravity to naturally bring the knees down, and you may like to take your right hand and just support your left knee gently. Ensure both shoulders are grounded, and you can keep your gaze looking skyward, or turn your head gently to look over to the left. On your next inhale, gently roll back to center, guiding your knees if you need to. And exhale, uncross the legs and find a neutral position on the floor. Moving on to the other side, cross your right leg over the left, shift the hips slightly over to the right, extend your arms out long. Inhale here, and exhale, drop the knees over to the left. Like before, you can support your knees with your left hand, and you can keep your gaze skyward or turn your head to look over your right shoulder. Continue to take deep breaths here. On your next inhale, gently and slowly guide yourself back to center, and then exhale, uncross the legs, moving back to a neutral position on the floor. We're going to take Savasana now, and feel free to find any position of comfort that suits you. Coming back to the theme of this class of mental clarity and focus, I'm going to take Savasana lying on my stomach today. I find this position really helps me to detach from the world around me and really turn inward. This might be different for you, so please take any position that you prefer. And once you've settled in, begin to soften your eyes or close your eyes. Begin to slow down and deepen each breath. Feel how still your body is, laying here relaxing. And now see if your mind can follow in this stillness and relaxation. start to bring your awareness back to the present. Gently and slowly bring some movement back to the body, doing whatever feels natural for you now. And when you're ready, without rushing, come to lie on your side, head supported by your lower arm, and just pause here for a few more breaths. Let's slowly make our way up to a seated position. See if you can keep your eyes closed as you transition here. Sitting up nice and tall, the crown of our head lifting skyward. Let's bring our hands together at heart center, and we'll take 3 deep breaths together. Let's begin by placing our hands now down by our sides, and we'll inhale as we circle our arms up overhead, palms touch, and exhale, hands together at heart center. Hands by the sides. Inhale and circle your arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last time, hands down. And now inhale, circle the arms up overhead, palms touch. And exhale, hands together at heart center. Thank you for joining me today, yogis. We'll close our practice with our mantra. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bowing forward, Namaste.